Today's episode is sponsored by Decido Apparel Company. Decido's shirts and apparel will not just cover your ugly body, but they'll make you look good and maybe even help you strike up an uncomfortable conversation, and you know how I feel about those. With grabbing designs like Where's the List, Operation Northwoods, Fetterman 24, Branch Davidians Should Have Never Stopped Shooting, and my personal favorite, Stanley Kubrick's Apollo 11, Decido shirts will have you opening up valuable conversation doors and building culture one wear at a time. Check out all their designs and support this incredible company now at Decido.com. That is DSYDO.com. Get it. We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave is talking to me in the background, but I can't hear him now. It's fine. Yes, the intro is indeed too long. I know how you're all feeling. Hey, it's another Wednesday. Happy Hump Day to you, and because of that, we're going to watch the world burn almost literally together this week, and that's not going to stop us, though, from having a good old laugh at it, because that's what we do here. But before we do, if you were here last week, there were 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 interruptions. I trust that we're going to have a straightforward and clean show today. But I didn't know that was going to happen last week either. If you share this, go share this with your friends. If you share it with them and it ends up being something completely different than what you thought you were sharing with them, that's always a possibility. But go share it, and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give him hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
I don't know what I said.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction.
9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth. I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. Sorry, I gotta turn that way down. Holy crap, that's loud. Hey, so, stuff is happening in the world. There's UFOs landing, there's trains blowing up, and people are dying from acid rain in the United States. Lots of fun things happening. We're going to cover all of them, but before we do, I have to continue to drag out this intro by thanking my favorite of all time, most ever sponsor, which is you guys in the Downers Club. People like Grumpy Gnome, RJ, JC, Justin Savoy, Justico Mitchell, Silas Lane, David and the Goliath, I think is what that said, Alex, Break the Bell, Zareth Anarchy, Cole, Keith, SDG, Sharron, Stefan, Jack, Javari, Ryan, Derek, Tim, Howie, Nathan, Trenton, other people. If you want to get your name on that list and possibly one day have your dreams fulfilled by having me incorrectly read and make fun of your name, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down, where you'll get that and so much more. More weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, including our after parties and after hours and all sorts of fun things. And we've got some new things that Dave and I are planning and preparing for certain people at certain levels of the Downers Club. So if you want to get in on the new ground floors, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down and join the Downers Club, support the show, and join us after the party. where we do the after party, because after the party, that's when we party. Now, I also have to give some shout-outs here at the top to a couple things that I've got coming up. If you're going to be in any of these areas, please come visit. But the Libertarian Party of North Carolina convention is March 10th through the 12th. I will be speaking. Yes, they allow me to speak at these things now. I will be speaking hilariously with people like Larry Sharp, David Falwell, Mike Termat, and Chase Oliver, and yours truly there. You can also catch me at the Libertarian Party of Florida convention, along with Maj Touré, Hannah Cox, Spike Cohen, Mike Mahari, I don't know, Jack Chambliss, and more to come. And allegedly, I will be now officially attending PorcFest as well. And you know what happens when I go to PorcFest. Lots of fun content comes out of that, not the least of which, well, maybe the least of which being I do a speech sometimes too. So check out all those out, and if you're going to be in the areas, please come hang out. Please come be awkward with me, because I'm not this crotchety bastard on this show. That's like my radio face. That's like my persona that I put on to make you guys think that I'm happier and more friendly than I really am. So you can come talk to me if you want, but it's up to you. Now, we're going to talk about news, and I can't talk about news alone. He doesn't need that much of an introduction, because you already know it's the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dave Casey of Dave vs. Goliath. My
What's
side
up?
project. How are you, sir?
It's good, man. Everybody needs a side project. The full band isn't enough. I got this whole other vision here. That's where the side project comes in. Good to be
Damn
here, bro.
straight. Absolutely. Always good to have you, Dave. Anything new going on down in Delaware? You've got some sort of rally coming up this weekend, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, gonna leave the first state and go hang out with my pals in D.C. for the Rage Against the War Machine rally, bro. 2-hour trek. That's an easy one for me to go
bad.
watch Ron Paul.
Gonna go watch a bunch of pedos for Putin?
Yeah, it's a pro-war rally. We got to show our support for the war machine. Wave that blue and yellow.
Bring out your children. Have them wave the Putin flags.
Yeah, it's indoctrination. Cross the aisle, indoctrination.
For anybody who's just now tuning in, go watch last week's episode for a clue as to what we are making fun of. But this Rage Against the War rally, Dave, you've got a new mic, new man on the street mic. What are your plans there? We haven't talked that in depth about it.
I'm going to go James O'Keefe the shit out of that whole thing.
So you're going to get fired from your own show? Nice.
Yeah, I'm here. No, actually, Dr. Mav, who runs Liberty Speaks, and she's the chair of Kent County here in Delaware. She's an organizer and a sponsor. And she told me she could get me a press pass. So that's just like, the Sloman shield there. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I have a press pass. You've seen my press pass down in Reno, right?
Yes.
You're just like my legit.
This takes me anywhere I want to go, baby. So yeah,
it's true. I mean, what makes press? I've got a camera and I talk to people. I am press, and I made my own badge. My company made it, which is me, but it's legit credentials.
This is some information that more people should take advantage of. That's
right.
A lot of protection when you have that homemade badge.
Yeah. If you're carrying a camera and you have a badge on, nobody will look at the badge. They'll just notice the camera and acknowledge that you have a badge, and that's all you need to get into certain places. Libertarian. So, as I mentioned last week's shit show, Dave, I listened to your episode that you put out last week. I listened to it this morning, and you were talking about a lot of the psyops and things going on in the news today, which we're going to be covering a few of them here. I do want to say, good show. Thanks, I know the solos are tough, and that's the first one you've done in a while. So
it was, and I gotta say, your New Year's episode of like 3 hours plus, like talking to yourself. I'm like, I can do an hour. I can do an hour if you can do that. So yeah, that was a good inspiration, bro.
Yeah, you just just go down rabbit trails and see where the wind takes you. I mean, my brain does that whether the camera's on or off. So if I'm just if I'm alone in the house, I am literally just talking to myself for hours about things. So we'll invite you guys in sometimes to our mental breakdowns. But Dave, with that show, you talked about the shit show as of last week, and I just wanted to ask you, since you had something to do with the reason why last week's show turned into what last week's show was. Dave, do you have any surprises this week?
No, dude, that was a one time. And you know what? I was like, I hope that I'm not betraying anyone's trust today. But it's like the Santa Claus thing. Like a little bit of dishonesty was required to make that happen. But no, I think it was worth it.
I mean, you're talking to the guy who trolled Dave Smith into coming on his show and trolled
right.
Tom McDonald into coming on a show in minor ways and stuff like that. No, I respect it. I mean, there's a line where if this happened like like several weeks, be like, okay, well, I got a show to do. But
right.
no, that was great, and I loved it. It was perfect. And if you had asked me, I would have been offended that you didn't just crash it, because I mean, that's the gift in and of itself.
That would have been the worst one of all the choices. Telling you about the surprise. Can I do a surprise? That's the worst.
Yep, I agree. As somebody who doesn't like surprises, like I don't like, birthdays and Christmas and stuff where you are opening a thing in front of somebody and you're like they're watching your facial expression to get their satisfaction out of the thing that they purchased for you, to show you that they love you, that you told them that you wanted them to purchase for you to make you feel loved and all that. I don't like that stuff, but when it's a legit surprise and not on a birthday, I'm down. If you can surprise me and make it good. Yeah. And you guys
did. It was a good one. You have good friends.
One or two. I don't know if Jack Casey falls into that category, but let's talk about some things. So I meant to bring this up last week, but we got carried away for whatever reason, and this was just like one of my favorite tweets of the last couple weeks. So I'll share it now. At TSIDpod, at Rand Paul, at Ron Paul, at David Sachs. You are a disgrace to all people who identify with the pro-liberty movement. Your encouragement of Russians' genocide during this war, as well as your look-away stand that grew this monster to power, be remembered, generation to come, shame.
Please show Bob's and vagine.
He got me. He got me there. I mean, that hurts. What he doesn't realize, though, is as much as it hurts to be called all of these slanderous things that I don't care about his opinion on, he put my name at the beginning of a list that includes Rand Paul and Ron Paul. So, like, what am I supposed to take from that other than a massive compliment?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I just saw you up there with fucking Larry Sharp and the Mike Termott revolution, bro. You're, aligning yourselves with all these kind of guys. I would put you right in that list.
I'm forcing my way in. I'm not sure if they appreciate it.
Like fucking battering ram, bro. Get in there. By the way, both of your little emojis were great on both. Picking your nose in one shot and then the Sam Smith. Really well done.
If you go to the website, you will not find those to be the actual picture. But,
all right.
Yes, I should. I made those today, and I thought, it would be funny if anytime somebody asks for a press photo, just always give them like the worst shit. That I might start doing that. Now, speaking of Project Veritas, as we did, this story came out I think right after we finished last week's episode, so I don't think we talked about it. But the whole James O'Keefe getting canned thing from Project Veritas. What are your thoughts on that, Dave? I know you shared some on your show, and it's shady as shit. Like the whole thing is. You talked about tying them together with all these other dramas going on within the libertarian sphere and the Republican sphere, the right wing, all this stuff. What are your thoughts on all this that's going on right now?
Well, as per usual, they're conspiratorial in nature, right? Like it's just not like all of a sudden they decided to. So like what happened the week before he got shit canned from his own thing that he started? Yeah. That broke that Pfizer story with that maniac, and it was broke the internet for a little while, and then they decided, I guess. See, this is the problem with having a board and democracy. This is why.
It's a problem with working with other humans on projects.
True, but if it were his corporation, his business that he set up without a board, then they, how can you take what is mine? You know what I mean? Yes. Don't leave it up to people who might one day, I don't know. I imagine Pfizer got to the board. If I'm just being blunt about it, I imagine somehow the Pfizer interests got to the people who were on the board of Project Veritas. And I forget who said it, but their whole thing is providing video evidence of
every single thing they've ever done. They've had video evidence of like these insane videos. How could you possibly ever pull this off? And they did. Right. And then they're going to take down their guy. and they don't have anything? I mean, I'm sure they got security camera footage, right? They've got body cams on all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. And I can't speak for anybody else, but like I don't know what happened, but automatically, like if James O'Keefe tomorrow were like, I am out, I'm starting my own new thing, pay attention to that and not, I'd go right to that.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than...
Who's going to stick around for Project Veritas if James O'Keefe starts something alternative to that?
Right. So I hope he does. Wasn't too long ago, man. He was like, popping in and around. I saw a picture of Jack Lloyd with him like maybe 10 years ago. He's like this scrawny little kid, started a little thing. And, now look at this dude. So, yeah, I don't expect that he's done. That would be awful. But I'm kind of surprised he's been a little quiet. Maybe he's got a, like a hush
NDA
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if he could, I don't know. I mean, as in all things, I'm always like, well, can they be trusted? Is this a psyop within a psyop? Oh,
Right.
Hey, talk for a second. I have a
Sure.
guest that might be coming on here in a second.
Oh, cool. I did ask Monica when she came on my show a couple weeks ago and said, what do you think about James O'Keefe?
Mhm.
And she wasn't sure. That was one of the things that she really didn't have a hard,
Hard read on?
yeah. But, I think that it ended up like she thought that maybe he could be being used without, like knowing it quite, which looks like maybe possible there.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to wonder, like he was always the face of the thing, but how much of the work was he actually doing? It's kind of like them replacing the voice actor on Rick and Morty. It's like, yeah, he did both the voices and he was the whole shebang there, but could James O'Keefe be replaced? Like, how much do you think he was actually putting into this?
I don't know. Even maybe he wasn't, 90% like it looks like. Maybe he was just the face. But even if he was just the face, like he's the trusted face. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's why these corporate news guys work out and they invest so much money into them because, they want that trust so they can exploit it. But if he had trust that was built up naturally and they just expel him because he didn't, toe the line of the pharmaceutical corporation, then yeah, I hope he goes and does something better, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we might be having Jed Payne come in. He was been on the show way back in the day. Good friend of the show. Awesome guy from Church and Other Drugs. He's into the alien chats. He's into the conspiracy chats. He's into the political stuff to a lesser extent. But I thought he'd be a good one to bring in here and get in on this. So we'll see what happens with that. But before we do that, let's talk about some more important sports news. You remember this gentleman named, what's his name? I think it's...
And his name is John Cena!
God, that's loud.
Shit slaps though.
Yeah. So John Cena is in the news again. Not for his amazing wrestling performances, but for this. For sporting a skirt, tights, and high heels.
I don't want to jump to conclusions. Is he on like a set or something playing some
I don't know.
dumb role or something?
Let's find out. This is from NewYorkPost.com, so it's legit. John Cena has a brand new look that has fans raising their eyebrows. The former WWE star, 45, was spotted in Melbourne, Australia, recently filming his upcoming flick, Ricky Stanicky. So yeah, it's a comedy, and looks like it is for a film set. But what do you think? Is this a good look? Is he passing?
Well, art is subjective, so if that's your thing and it's cool, you're not a child, and your parents didn't put you in that outfit, it's all good. You can wear it.
But John
this
Cena, though?
Well, again, like, look, man, I'm thinking about wrestlers right now. They put Hulk Hogan in a tutu or something. Like, I can't remember the movie. They did that to The Rock too. Like, he played like a ballerina and like sometimes they do that to these guys. You've heard Chappelle talk about putting black men in dresses and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's part of this.
Yeah, the humiliation ritual stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that. The logical answer is that this is just for a comedy or something. But I don't know. He's been seemed like kind of a bitch lately. But in fairness, what is professional wrestling other than just theater dorks who are like closeted gay and they're trying to prove that they're not gay by punching other men in the face. I mean, it's still just theater. It's still just. I'm not knocking it because I'm a literal theater dork. So,
well,
I'm just not scared to admit it.
And just like singers, Elton John, right? Actors, they're all just influencers. And if you reach a certain level, you get to be the next level. And Dave Bautista, like he got to graduate to being in the movies and stuff, a couple of these guys. But to maintain that, if you want to be The Rock, right? If you want your NBC show and you want to make Black Adam movies and stuff like, you better, like they're the perfect corporate spokespeople because they, like most of these guys, don't give a shit what comes out of their mouth. They just say it. What's up, man?
Jet Pain. Can't hear you. Jet Pain, everyone.
Hey.
No, just leave it dead air. Make it even more uncomfortable.
I'll hit my squeeze pipe while he works it out.
While Jed gets his shit together, let's see the latest from Sam Smith. If I can find it. Damn it, it's gone. Sam Smith talked yesterday about how he likes fishing. He's a real fisher them. And I wish I had the clip because that's a real word that he said. And then the interviewer says, yeah, you'd make a great fisherman. And he's like, fisher them. He has to correct the interviewer on his preferred pronouns in his fishing status as well. Now this means absolutely nothing to me. However, I want to get your thoughts, Dave.
On fisher them?
Yeah, fisher them.
Dude, look, I'm okay with if I had a friend that was trans and they were like, you should call me this now. Okay, no problem. But you can't butcher the language and expect us to like.
Right.
That's why I hate Latinx because you're spitting on the whole language.
Yeah.
Right. And communication. So yeah, I hate that.
Jed, why don't you try jumping out and jump back in? We'll see if it fixes it. Did you try turning it off and on again? Fisher them. This segment has failed abysmally for many reasons, but we do have to talk more about Sam Smith because after the Unholy performance, the Church of Satan came out and they weren't impressed. They were not impressed with the thing that everybody was so scared of. And I mean, in fairness, I was like, not that I didn't find it as alarming as some people seem to, especially in like Christian culture and stuff. Jed, are you there?
Did that work?
Yes, Jed.
All right.
Thank God your
See,
beautiful,
here's the thing.
dulcet tones have graced us with your presence.
I know. Here's the thing. Sometimes my headphone mic likes to be the one in charge, but so I gotta
put
dive through the settings to put it in its place. Not today. Atlas Pro. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a long time. Jed, I don't think you've even met Dave.
I haven't.
You guys introduce yourselves.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, Dave. I'm Jed.
Jed, good to meet you, brother. Thanks for being here.
You too, bro. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jed, you were invited on the show a couple days ago, and we decided to kind of play it by ear because you had some stuff going on, but you're here. How much time can you give us? I just need to gauge what topics that we need to jump into since some of them are probably more up your alley.
At least 30 minutes. I'm good.
Cool. So, you familiar with Sam Smith, Jed?
I am.
I am. Familiar with his latex fun lately?
His fiasco. So yes, I am. And here's the thing. I would not have been familiar with it had there not been outrage.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, here I am feeding into the machine. Because then
I know.
went on
I
the
know
deep
what we
dive,
are. I get it. I understand what the subtle burn there, Jed. You're saying if you guys weren't talking about this shit, I wouldn't have known about it. So maybe if you shut the fuck up, that'd be great.
No, it was more. I was like, well played, Grammys, because now I'm looking at your videos, and I don't think anybody watches the Grammys anymore.
So, Jed, as a religious fellow yourself, are you concerned with the apocalypse that Sam Smith has brought upon us in putting on big red spandex and dancing?
Not even a little bit. But then on the other hand, maybe a little bit. It's funny.
On the one hand, I think everybody who's scared of it is retarded. On the other hand, I'm fucking terrified.
I'm definitely well because it's like okay, here we go, satanic panic again, round
Right.
2, which is it's just weird that that's cropping up again. I don't know where. So this is what has changed my mind on everything is because I'm such a contrarian that when like people my grandparents' age jumped on the conspiracy bandwagon, like now all of a sudden I am the most reasonable voice in the room. Like when did that happen?
Jed, I'm going to
So
tell you,
now it's
you're
like-
still the most reasonable voice in the room. I assure you.
Thank you. Good.
Right now. Yeah.
But it's like y'all are just going too far. So
Well, is it
What?
kind of like I mean, for me, having grown up in the church and seen all the satanic panic and all that stuff, and was scared of it at certain points in my life, but now it's like trying to find the line between being annoyed at the Christians for being so terrified of it and being annoyed at other Christians even for acting like it's absolutely nothing and there's nothing to this and you have no reason to be concerned that this is on primetime television.
it's definitely not nothing. It tickles the part of me that because I don't even like necessarily I don't believe in like a literal eternal conscious torment of hell anymore. That's not like in my belief system.
Unless you go to the
That's a whole-
Grammys.
Exactly. That's a whole separate thing. But it's like the God-fearing part of me still always like shudders when people even make like oh, I'm just gonna have a big old party in hell jokes. I'm just like, but if I hope that doesn't really happen because it's not gonna be how you think it's gonna be. It's
Right.
not gonna go. He's not your pal and your buddy.
All that means is I don't believe it and I'm kind of a arrogant
Exactly.
asshole.
Exactly. It does seem to just continue like, and I've noticed this because I worked with adolescents, and so I have been watching witchcraft, demonology become super fashionable over the past, I don't know, 5-6 years. And just people like kids just kind of emulating stuff that they don't even know what they're really doing. Ouija boards, pentagrams, like the Black Cult clothing company. It's like, it's super
TikTok
Harry
faith.
Potter.
in. Harry Potter.
know,
It's super
got the-
in.
Get the kids, cradle to grave, man.
Get the kids hooked on magic with a CK. So it's like on the one hand, I'm like, oh, they're just cashing in on a fad, and then on the other hand, it's like, well, what was the initial meteor that started this tsunami? You know what I mean? Like, what was the what's behind the push here?
Mhm.
And it does just seem like the logical conclusion of a culture separating itself from, I'll call it Judeo-Christian morality, right? If everyone's trying to swim away from that, then like absolutely things like Satan, and because it's also, like it was so cartoony, his performance.
Yeah.
Like it was so like Looney Tunes.
It was literally
version
like
of the devil,
like horns and pitchfork in red latex.
Right.
Yes.
right? Which
Which on
that
the one hand,
irritates me.
it's like, well, that's cartoony and that's cheesy. But on the other hand, it's like to other people, they might just be like, oh, that's just cartoony and cheesy. And it like, again, it's the line of like, yeah, there's
Right.
something to this, but maybe it's not, the end of the world just because Fat Man dances in red latex on TV.
I think I would say that's because it's also it's no worse than the I rewatched the Montero music video recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I think it was as a dovetail to this, and that to me was Lil Nas X being extremely self-aware and just being like, I'm gonna lean into this as far as I can, like with the occult symbols and stuff, and like really fuck with people. You know what I mean?
It worked. I mean, I find way more
hell yeah.
troubling because, his fan base even is a younger crowd, or they were at the time. But
yeah, it's because then I'm careful to old man yells at cloud type of thing.
That's
where,
Dave.
Like, get off my lawn, you kids! Like, I guess we had our same stuff. I mean, I remember my parents taking a Rammstein CD and Smashing Pumpkins CDs from me when I was a kid. And that turned out to not destroy my soul, but
Well, that's because they took them away from you. I mean,
well, I
just
still
imagine how
got
much
'em.
worse it would have been if you had held on to
I
them.
still got them. I just got them through nefarious purposes. You know what I'm saying?
I do know exactly what you're saying. And Mom, if you're listening, it has nothing to do with me. So
What do you think?
about which thing?
I mean, do you think it's a legitimate concern?
I
Like
think
a
it's
danger.
I think it's layered. I think it is partially pushing agendas and pushing messaging, and sometimes doing so in such overt ways that it gets people riled up to these extremes, to where it makes the backlash seem silly. Like I can empathize with both sides, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't trust these people in Hollywood. I don't trust these people in I don't trust the people that run the Grammys or who run the Circle Jerk Awards or whatever the fuck. I think that they're all. I don't think they have good intentions, and when they wear it on their sleeve, I'm not sure if I'm falling for one agenda or the other agenda, but I could see it both ways. To where they're, I think that they have some ill intentions, and I think sometimes they might make those intentions just a little bit too on the nose, to where it's like, yeah, crazy conspiracy theorists think Fat Man dancing in red latex is demonic, and I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The song's a fucking banger. The Illuminati can write hits for days. I'll say that.
That was my other comment on it when I went and watched the music video. I was like, oh no, it's good.
It's good, yeah.
This song slaps, bro. Like,
and it's really just
couldn't help it.
the production on it is what slaps. Like the lyrical content is not even as good as Sam Smith's old stuff when he was whining about being cheated on, and now he's gloating about dude committing adultery on a pop song.
Is he gay? Did I miss that boat completely?
They, Jed, they are whatever they feel
Super
like.
gay. Super
Has
gay.
they always been, or is this a recent thing? That was the most shocking thing about his performance to me. It was like, oh wait, I didn't know that. Okay, cool, good. For
You
him.
didn't know he was gay?
I didn't.
Okay, so yeah,
Just thought the man could sing.
we don't need to spend too much time on this because we've already talked way too much about Sam Smith on the last few episodes. But Sam Smith, I love his music and have loved his music for a long time. I loved him before I knew he was gay, and then he came out as gay, and I was like, cool, still love his music. And then he came out as non-binary, and I was like, cool, still love his music. And then he came out as like obese Satan and like piss tapes in like his music videos and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, something about this just doesn't click with me anymore. So
Yeah, and you know what his initials are? I don't find that a coincidence whatsoever. Hidden in plain view.
I think not.
I think Nazi.
When you got here, Jed, before you got here, we were talking about how the Church of Satan was unimpressed with Sam Smith's performance. So, at least to some degree,
Oh, hilarious.
I'm like, this is just great news coverage here. Just
It's like if your mom was like, "I want to be a Satanist too."
Yes,
And
yes.
it's on the
You're like,
Grammys now,
"No,
so it's
we're
get the
good."
fuck off the TV. It was better when
Yeah.
we were like, there was some mystique.
it's better when we were
Oh,
naked
that's
in the
what I'm
woods. We're not supposed to be on the TV, man. That's
Right.
like,
It's absolutely pop Satanism.
Yep. So, what else do we got here? Oh, we do have more on Sam Smith because he showed up at some other stupid Brit Awards thing wearing
I saw that.
I don't know, a
It looks like an
Rorschach test.
IUD.
Somebody I saw, I think it was Luke Rudowski said human butt plug, which is also
Yeah.
an option. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities here, but my guess is that he was just trying to look retarded. Just a guess.
I mean, success.
Nailed it.
He did it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fashion guy, obviously, but I think I'm starting to figure it out. Is it literally just wear something that doesn't fit you in one extreme or another? And the more extreme that it doesn't fit you, the more fashionable it is. Like, I'm an art guy. I'm not a fashion guy, but I'm an art guy. And I'm like, I think that's just it.
I
Shit
think
don't
it's
fit.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing that will get noticed over the rest of them. Once again, case in point, we just seen it.
So
Right,
it's
and
like
there's always a race to like race to the or race to be shocking. Like it's not like
Yes.
fashion. What do you think is beautiful? What do you think
No.
would like be comfortable or like
it's what
you know,
will people
popular?
remember?
What will
Yep.
what will you see and go, what the fuck? Like if that's
Yeah.
weird that's the trajectory.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the. I mean,
It-
we're in the age of attention wars, so I guess it's not that. I guess it'd be interesting to go back and look at like historical whatever, like how much it has changed in the digital age to where everybody's competing so fiercely for your 13 seconds of ad generating eyeballs.
Yeah.
It also goes back kind of like the music too. It's like everything has to be enhanced and more. Like
Mhm.
you know, like your sugar
It's a
intake,
drug.
right?
Yeah.
Right. You need to keep like it heightened always, right?
Yeah.
That seems to be a major trend across all.
Jed, you know
Yeah,
about addictions, right?
Sure do, bud. Sure do. Yeah, there's you can look up studies of key changes throughout decades,
Mhm.
and that is super interesting. And it's like since the 80s, it's just been getting steadily more depressing. Like as far as what key the I think they did like the top 100 pop songs of the decade. And
Oh, I see.
Dude,
Yeah,
I've heard
it's-
about
it's
this
been
too. This is
interesting.
interesting stuff. The hip hop stuff, always in minor key,
Right.
right? Or lots of it, right? And there's never like a turnaround, or not never, but like it's a kind of like a continuous, monotonous way. It doesn't let your body kind of release, like when the chorus comes or the
Right.
bridge changes up. It takes you through this kind of like literally, if everything's Tesla said it, Bob Marley said it, everything's vibrations and energy, man. Right? So if you're just putting this constant, you know, boom, boom, like it doesn't
Somebody
give you
clip
what
that
you're-
and make a fat beat out of it.
Oh, you could.
It's gonna get sampled. It's gonna get sampled.
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna set the streets on fire. But
That's right.
it's not gonna be good
For real though, and that's that once again. That's the other takeaway of working with adolescents currently is, the music they're listening to is pretty
shit
dark. Yeah, well, it's shit for one. Like it's real shit. It's just bad.
I mean, Jed, when you say dark, I mean you're talking to like you come from a music background to some extent in like metal and stuff, and I come from a darker music background as well. I mean, Dave here played in like ska bands, which were a little bit more happy. But
I never played in a ska band. Bro. Never. But, all right,
I
lighter
knew
stuff.
I recognized you. Real Big Fish, right? That's you. So, like, black metal is like fantasy dark.
Mm-hmm.
SoundCloud rap is like realistic homicidal dark.
Nihilism, right?
Sure.
Yeah, very much so.
Right.
And
you can talk
it's- I
about
mean,
like
but
slaughtering all the heads of your enemies and blah blah blah, or you can talk about like cutting up your mom's body and burying it in the backyard. Like two different things.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, we did have Eminem, but it seemed like he was one of the only ones doing it. And I guess it's just, it's just a reflection of the cult, the current. There seems to be a lot of nihilism going on with the young. I mean, myself definitely, but the younger generations even more so. Where it's just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
What are we
Bro,
supposed to be doing?
I know I'm the old guy, but like I loved funk and disco and like just 70s. Like that was the best. If you guys are audio files, right? I mean, like real hi-hats, crisp, like production in the 70s was on point. Real drums, and it was.
I can't get into it. It's not sad enough, and that's not even a joke. I have a friend that keeps trying to get me into old funk stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel it. Doesn't make me sad.
Me too.
If you watch I don't want to be sad when I listen to music. I want to feel good. But if you go watch like whatever Soul Train, like just look at the smiles on their faces. It's just a completely different experience. People were dancing like Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley. These guys are talking about anti-war. They're talking about being in love with their girl. They're talking about, that was like the typical shit. And like you said, dude, it's not anymore. It's about drugs. Still, I mean, like this is like from the 90s on. But again, like the degradation. Like, we had gangster rap, and we had Lil Kim. But Lil Kim is a light year away from like Cardi B. It's the difference between like empowering sexuality and like smut. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's different.
And and that's the argument that's like untouchable right now that no one wants to talk about. We're just.
Oh, we talked about it, I'm sure, on here. Whatever you're about to say, we've talked about it.
In public, I usually bow out of it because I'm just tired of it. But it's like we are going to see if isn't the consequences of our decisions and actions in the next 15, 20 years of like when this generation grows up. It's like, okay, so we want to jettison this specific morality, and we're just going to go into this relativism and like, I'm living out my truth and like I have complete control over my body and I'm feminist, so I can do OnlyFans and then expect there to be like it's almost like there's an expectation that people are able to do things they want to do in a vacuum, and that nobody in no individual in society is allowed to
social media
react.
Bubble. Yeah, it's their social media bubble that they think carries over into the real world, where you can just block people, but it doesn't at all.
yes. It's like it's the principle of like, I have an OnlyFans, but like don't. And if you subscribe to it and you see me in public, don't you dare Google me. It's like, but you have conditioned that person to do that. Like you can't. Well,
you are currently filming yourself in the gym for people to stare at. Right. And you're concerned with somebody staring at you while you film yourself with the intent of people staring at you. Okay.
Right.
And you will be told that that's empowering while you are degrading yourself. So that's not good. It's not good for teenage girls to want to be influencers on whatever, this is one, they're not going to like build things. They're not going to get smart. They're not going to get real jobs, right? So you're just going to have this like class of people that might make a little bit of money, like objectifying themselves and like talk about nihilism, man. Like when your body isn't there anymore and you just like, you guys are spiritual people, right? Like if you spend your life doing that shit, you will be spiritually bankrupt, man.
Yeah.
And that's where they're, as somebody who spent, dude, like I was a militant atheist for a while, and now I'm a whole lot more open. And in fact, I would apologize to some of the Marilyn Manson Christians of the 90s. But like, that is, again, part of the degradation, right? Like Marilyn Manson, you could get that CD, but you had to like almost hide it from your parents. And now we've gotten to this point.
Now it's primetime TV. Now it's at the Super Bowl halftime show, which brings us to our next segment. Jed, are you a sports guy?
I am somewhat.
Cool, because we're not at all. So you can weigh in on some things. But Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime show got a lot of people talking about it. We didn't get the normal amount of, occultism and checkerboard patterns and pillars and demonic stuff. We just got pregnant Rihanna in in Sam Smith's red spandex costume, but without the devil horns. And she was clearly pregnant again. And this this Super Mario Brothers stage setup here was quite boring. People danced in their fashionable, ill-fitting suits that looked like, pillowcases. And Rihanna just kind of bobbed around a little bit to songs that she sang on the choruses of that are other people's songs for the most part. I found this to be quite lackluster. Not a whole lot of symbolism to me, but I'm curious if you guys saw anything, had any thoughts. What'd you guys think?
My immediate thought was, ma'am, you are pregnant. Should you really be on an elevated surface right now? Like, God forbid you fall.
Right.
I mean, ma'am. Calm down.
So her performance was clearly a very pregnant performance. I imagine Rihanna didn't get famous off of these dance moves that she was throwing down on Sunday. But
and it's like you have to pay to play the Super Bowl. So it's the last person that got paid, I think, was Prince. Otherwise, you pay to play the Super Bowl. Wow. So that means that, because it's just an advertising thing. So that means that pregnant Rihanna was like, ooh,
hell yeah,
I know what I want to do. Go do the Super Bowl. It's not like she was asked, you know what I mean? Like she lobbied to do this.
Right. And she
just
seemed like she
bizarre
didn't. It
to
seemed
me.
like, did she get pregnant after she lobbied to do it, and then was like, shit?
That maybe that would make me feel better about it. Otherwise, it's just like, what do I want to do today now that I'm pregnant? Oh, go play the Super Bowl.
Right.
I saw one girl on social media was like, "Oh my God, Riri is so brave to get up there after all the abuse, and she's pregnant, and she's so strong." I'm like, she's a performer, and
Right.
you know, like if
It's
this is
100% of her job to dance.
right, it's to dance, and you can't
and
even
lip
dance. It
sync.
would be like, imagine going up there like in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? I'm like sitting there, like this is not what I paid for. I'm at this fucking Super Bowl.
I
Yeah,
mean,
was
bring
bored.
out all these pillowcase motherfuckers to distract from the fact that she's barely doing much here. She's got, what is this costume? Because she's got, I mean,
It reminds me of you ever seen The Cell with
Jennifer
Lopez? Yeah, it
Yeah.
reminds me of her outfit a little bit.
yeah. Just the plastic boob wrap. I mean, other than that, it's just like, I don't know. It's just a red jumpsuit basically with a plastic boob wrap. Very strange choice. But did you guys watch the Super Bowl live, or did you catch this in the aftermath, or what?
I watched the
watched
Super Bowl live, but I missed the performance live.
Gotcha. So I watched none of it live, but I did watch the halftime show while the Super Bowl was still going on, and the version that I saw had the sign interpreter. Any of you guys see the sign interpreter for Rihanna's show?
I didn't.
Man. So we just saw Rihanna's performance. Here's the sign interpreter's performance.
Oh yeah.
So like
Absolutely.
they had in the version that I was watching, which was this one, they had it like that with like half screen is Rihanna, who's like very tiny in the background, and then the other half is this chick just like throwing down,
She's crushing it.
yeah, throwing
You
down.
don't need no words. Don't need
And-
no music.
Yeah, don't need no music. Pootie done did it again. Wow, nobody quotes Pootie Tang.
I'm so glad you were here today, Jed, because he wouldn't have seen it. Dan's
Absolutely.
never seen shit.
I have no idea
Sign
what
my
you're
pity
talking
on the Rudicon. Sarate, my damie. Wow,
That might
dude,
have to
that
make the
brought me
movie
back.
list, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
about.
Thank you.
Yep.
What is it from?
Pootie
Tang.
Tang.
I don't have any idea what that is.
It's an old
You
Chris
lack
Rock
culture.
movie.
I
Yeah, it's
do.
ridiculous.
I get all my culture from Twitter. So I don't know if that tells you
So
anything.
wasn't there something about like a belt she was wearing that had like a pentagram on it? That was the only thing.
I mean,
saw.
I haven't seen
But I
a
don't
clear
even-
shot of it.
Me neither. So it was probably photoshopped.
Not necessarily Photoshopped. It might be there, but it's hard to tell exactly what we're looking at there. And I've seen some
Yeah.
like pictures zoomed in and things, and I don't know. It's not clear enough for me. And even if it is, like, okay, that's still the most mild of symbolism that we've seen at the Super Bowl halftime show in a good
She
while.
didn't
so.
get pissed on. Come on, this is family friendly.
It's a start. She did,
Yeah.
rub her groin and then sniff it at one point. But,
Okay.
family-friendly Super Bowl ads or Super Bowl time is different than,
I lost one of my Super Bowl bets was the color of her first outfit. I lost. Said it was going to be black. You
damn.
could bet on the most ludicrous things on the Super Bowl.
I'm wondering why our screen isn't switching back over here. Wait, back to live mode. So I restarted all my everything today. Hopefully I'm not screwing things up. I installed new operating
go.
system on my Mac, and now things just aren't working the way they're supposed to. So hopefully y'all are there and hear what's going on. Drop into the chats. Danielle's talking about Pootie Tang, so she says it's epic. So apparently they were
It
around
is.
at least for that. So rad. Now there were
Have
other.
you
Oh, go ahead.
The one thing, have you seen the viral video making the rounds about chat? I don't know if it was Chat GPT, but it was an AI supposedly talking to this kid's son and telling him that he was a disembodied spirit. Does that ring any bells?
No, I have not heard that.
Oh, well, that's essentially, and to me, it seems incredibly not real, but big if true. One of those
I've seen some
things.
stuff on Chat GPT, and there's some creepy things that you can do with that. So it's possible.
I literally was just using Chat GPT to do my statistics homework.
Nice.
Yeah. Robots, bro.
To have have it do your statistics homework for you? Is that what you're
Have
saying?
it do my statistics homework for me.
Nice. I like it.
It did not get all of it right.
Oh, well, as long as it passes, right?
Yeah.
So with this Rihanna performance, yeah, it sucked. Good on the sign language interpreter. I thought that if it was like that on all the different broadcasts, I would have been like, oh, they did that just for the obvious reason of like, hey, don't notice, don't notice that Rihanna's not dancing. We've got a dancer, somebody here to fill in, and we'll pretend like she's doing sign language when she's really just interpretive dancing. But yeah, good on the interpretive dancer for being the show, in my opinion, and stealing the show. Absolutely. Now there were other things in the Super Bowl, other controversies, including like the what has been dubbed the Black National Anthem, and I guess they had end racism written in the end zones and stuff.
What
like
was
that.
it? Just the anthem with some drums? What was it?
Just some tribal drums. No, it's a completely different song that's been going around some of the sports broadcasts and things. That's right. Liven it up, put some soul into it. But there's this other song that has been dubbed the Black National Anthem that they've been playing before some sports things, and now they're playing it before the Super Bowl.
I Had a Good Day by Ice Cube.
That could make it.
That's my anthem.
I'd be down with that. But just the topic of like having a separate national anthem for a different nationality of people within the same country seems to me to not be the unifier that the national anthem, like if it has a point, if the national anthem has a point, which I could make the argument, like I'm not in favor of like the Pledge of Allegiance and shit like that. I'm not like rah patriotism here. I'm like, hey, if we're going to unite on something as a country, maybe having different national anthems for one nation isn't the way to go about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree to that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
But
I even had I don't remember I was like, oh, that she is really beautiful. It may have been like Zoe Kravitz or something. And then I was like, oh, and she's like a mixed race person. And I was like, I bet. I mean, the original design, if you will, like I bet we all should have just been intermingling like forever and just creating like homogeny through like this whole separation thing is not what's up. I think that's the mistake.
In ways, but also different people with different interests mingle and they collect. Like there will be collectives no matter where, or like no matter how much diversity you force to happen. Like people have their cliques and they click with people that are more similar to them. It's not racism.
True.
It's
but then
I
you
relate
have
to
like
you more.
It points in history where that was a thing where they're like, oh, don't mix the blood, like,
right? And
it's like, nah, I think that was the wrong move.
Yeah. I mean, racism bad. Yes, we all agree on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this attempt to end racism by putting end racism in the end zone at the Super Bowl. I mean, who's watching the Super Bowl and going, you know what? I never thought about it that way. I'm glad you guys put that in your end zone. I'm glad you spent a whole bunch of money to convince me that racism is in fact bad. For the amount of racists that there are out there, how many of them have gone their entire life being a racist and never heard end racism before?
There's like a Klan member watching and he's like, oh my God, Geraldine, I've been doing this all wrong. The sign on that football helmet just completely turned me around.
Right. I mean, they're watching a sport that is like predominantly black dudes kicking the shit out of white dudes in a lot of ways. Like,
it's because
I don't know what racists are even watching this shit.
Well, and oh God, and then especially people. I can't believe the amount of posts I still saw about like, we support our country over here, NFL, bunch of kneelers and saying blah blah blah. It's just like, what the shut up. Once
again, extreme pushback or extreme, like, I don't know, counterattack to something that you disagree with makes you just as cringe much of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, but no, I think conspiratorial, but not even really conspiratorial. It's recent. I remember there being a ton of like racism allegations toward, it was like the Dallas coach, and then I think the commissioner of the NFL in general, like some like serious like Goodall, Roger Goodall, whatever his name is. And it seemed like
no idea.
During that period, that's when they did a crazy PR campaign of like, we're united and in racism, and just a total like, see how not racist we are,
Right.
which usually tells me you are extremely racist.
Right. If you need to preach how not racist you
Right.
are, like if you're not just living it, if people can't
Right.
tell, like if people see you and they're like, I'm not so sure about this guy, he's talking to those people different than those people, but he did say we're not racist, and he spent a bunch of money on PR campaigns to convince you that he's not a racist. So
What are you gonna do? A man's only as good as his word. He says he's not. I guess he's not. As he's being actively racist. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I would need to see evidence of
realize-
actual racism. Like equally, if there's allegations of racism against a guy like Colin Kaepernick saying that the NFL is like the slave trade on this Netflix special or whatever, and he's like has this like animated or like whatever, it's like slave trade where they're like in a line and they're being like poked and prodded at for the NFL shit. Like, that's just a dude who got kicked out of the NFL and he's pissed off and this is the best that he has. If it is the slave trade, then why did you spend most of your life trying to be a slave? And why are you trying to be a slave right now who gets paid millions and millions of dollars to be a slave? Like, you can't have it both ways, bud.
Right.
He's pissed off that he got kicked out of the slave trade. That doesn't check out with me.
We have a local representative here in the State House who posted something along the lines of like, oh, we can get a black national anthem, but we can't. But Colin Kaepernick won't get hired to play football or something like that. It's like,
it's because they both suck.
Even your average Democrat understands that. Like,
be grateful for what you have, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's no diversity hires in football, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be good at football. That's why
what I was
they
about to say. Nobody wants to just say that like you were trash, bro. Like if you there's a reason Deshaun Watson like beat a woman and then is just back playing. You know what I mean? Like, good grief.
Yeah. Racism.
Shit.
So other things happened. Other things happened at the Super Bowl. Jesus attended the Super Bowl, as is mentioned in the title of this episode. Perhaps you guys caught it. This very controversial ad played, and we're gonna talk about it. It's over.
Wow. That wasn't the ad. Low, funky music.
I don't know if we should play the music to this, but the breakdown is it's a soulful black man song, and it's showing. So it's a lot about talking about the human condition. You can read the lyrics along with if you want to get the lyrics, but it's showing a lot of the racial tensions and controversies, showing black people fighting with black people, white people fighting with white people, and all the mixes in between, and just showing where our country's at. And then at the end it says let's see, Jesus loved the people we hate, and then it says he gets us, all of us, Jesus.
Oh, they turned his name.
I see what you did there.
Not cool. Were those, first off, were all those real images, you think, or were some of them staged?
That is a good question.
That was my question.
Those are some pretty clean photos that look like they were all taken possibly by the same photographer even. But I mean, doctoring is very not difficult. So I don't know. I don't. Man, stuff like this. Yeah, that I think that's staged. Actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think that happened. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, this. Yeah, I don't know, and especially it's like the what does that sign say? Resist. I'm assuming it's like
resist. And there's a 1776 flag right in the back, and then there's a dude wearing
stereotypical store.
Right, dude wearing the Viking horn, screaming in a black dude's face, looking like stupid. Like, I don't know, man. I didn't even think about that before. So good catch. But yeah. So this for me, surface level, when I watched this ad, I was like, dope. I like it. Like the message. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, pretty simple message. Hey, stop being a fucking dick. Jesus wasn't a dick. That's all we're calling for in this ad. But this has sparked controversy from people who are mad that it had a Jesus message. And it sparked controversy from some Jesus people who are mad that it had a kind of political message. And there's been some controversy. People have dug into a little bit into, the messages of the company that's pushing this ad. People complaining about a lot of different things. But what do you guys think so far?
I mean, surface level, yeah, it's like, okay, there's nothing really in that I disagree with, except maybe.
Oh shit! Somebody's calling. Hold on, I can't hear you.
All right.
It's so loud in my headphones. I can't
Probably
think.
Jesus.
Hello? Hello, you're on the air with The System Is Down? And I'm not sure if your audio is coming through. I hope it is. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, is this CD?
Hey. All right, it's CD.
I knew it was. Right. I had a feeling you'd call in right now.
Long time listener, first time caller.
I don't believe you.
What's going on? So happy to be here. Thanks so much for answering. Hey, we're talking about Jesus and football, right? Two things that should be like the most American things you ever heard. But unfortunately, the mob has taken over both things, and they tried to turn Jesus gay, and we just can't have it. And so that's what this whole thing, this whole organization, this Jesus Gets Us thing, it's been brought on by an organization called what's it called?
I don't know. Jesus something. He loves us or something like that?
They're all anonymous. That's what I'm getting at. It's like every single person that's contributed to this fund is anonymous. Which why, if you were like a Christian, like if you were like a Hobby Lobby or a Chick-fil-A or some shit, like you would like want your name on all of it, right? Like fuck that. And you're not gonna tell me that they're being altruistic. No, fuck that. They're a corporation. They make money. And so don't tell me that they're just contributing. I don't believe that it's just those. I think this is this has got Soros written all over it. The anonymity of the donors, the way that it's all about, hey, if you don't like this part of Christianity, that's okay. Jesus loves you anyway. Okay, are they promote? And this is where it comes in. All the people that you would think would contribute are religious, right? So they believe in a religion, not just Christianity, not just like Jesus, Jesus is all right with me, that kind of thing. Like they believe in like religion. So if you believe in religion and Jesus and like principles, then you would say that.
So do you think this is a Christian? Is this a Christian psyop to lure people into this organization and then flip the tables and be like Kanye West, who's like, "Hey, I'm a Christian, and then I'm kind of batshit crazy, also"?
I wouldn't doubt it, no, because I think they're just saying they're trying. They said that this is a movement to try and bring in people, specifically LGBTQ people, who I don't even remember what it said, but who have been shunned by the church basically in years. It's like, well, fucking duh. It's a church that doesn't believe in homosexuality. I don't know, like, if you don't like the church, but you want to believe in Jesus, I think that's a beautiful thing. But like, do not here's where they're conflating the two, and they're trying on purpose to be confusing, so that they can then, because it's all on purpose. Yes, I think the confusion is on purpose, because people are like, well, is this a Christian thing? Is this like a ad from the ad council? What is going on here? And I think that's the point. And it's to confuse the whole idea of Christianity and religion. And eventually they're going to flip that, and it's going to be, well, if you don't follow this, you're alt-right. You're just one of those alt-right Christians. And I've heard that more and more and more, that people in this country are conflating Christians with alt-right. And I resent that. I resent that 100%. Because Jesus would never, and the Bible does not promote alt-right, crazy lunatics. It's not the same thing.
Would he promote loving your enemies, though?
Well, of course. And that's what
I tend to agree with you probably, but also there's part of me that's like, the message still of like, hey, we want to be inclusive of these people. I know it's probably in some sense with like in line with like the BLM stuff, where it's like, this is our message and it's all about loving and including people. But then once we start burning things down, then it becomes less about love. So yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes. But at the same time, Yeah, I don't trust anybody who's running a Super Bowl ad, to be completely honest, but I do like the message on the surface level.
And they're raising gazillions of dollars. That's where I'm confused.
Yeah.
How are you raising so much money?
And nobody's
Who
heard about this
involved-
organization until now.
Until now, and no one is coming forward about donating to it. They're like, and like I said, you would think that the stereotypical Christian, you know, the Hobby Lobbies and the Chick-fil-A's, that's the best I got right now. But those people would be like, hell yeah, put money on that.
Right.
We are behind this. Because they have been forward in their religious beliefs before. Hence, being closed on Sundays and blah, 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 right? So why wouldn't they be forward about giving money to this organization? Unless they don't want their name on it, or unless they're not, or unless there's no Christians involved, or there's no Christian organization. Like, my question was, well, how many churches have put into this?
Yeah.
I'll wait. Like, you know, like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe those images. I don't believe what's behind it. I think that they're inadvertently trying to make it out to where, like, it's like, you know, if you don't believe in this type of Jesus, you don't believe in this brand of Jesus, then you're all right, and you want the world to burn, and you hate gay people. And it's just like another way to manipulate Christian and Christendom and to make them feel like they are racist or bigots or something because they believe in the Bible.
Yeah. I like it,
yeah.
CD.
So I think we're all right. Yeah, dude. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Anytime. Thank you for calling in. We'll talk to you later, C. See ya. So, lots of things that she's given us to just cut straight to the point, as CD does, and let's not beat around the bush. And what do you guys, thoughts?
I think I didn't hear about it. I didn't see that commercial live for whatever reason. Maybe I was grabbing some chips or something. But yeah, I saw it, and it didn't offend me. That was a good point Jed made about some of the photos looking staged. Like, I wasn't outraged. The only person I saw outraged on my timeline was one of my super lefty friends that posted an article from CNN that was saying that they did, in fact, take money from companies like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby, and the same critiques that they always lie. It's like, oh, these monies go to anti-abortion things and blah, blah, blah. But that is what they're trying to do. She's right in that, like, soon churches that say, oh, yeah, we're against abortion, like, that will be hate speech. If you're against abortion, like a woman's right, like, that's hate speech. Or you won't affirm this child, that's hate speech. You can't, it doesn't matter if you're a church or not, you can't participate in hate speech.
I'll BRB. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I already talked enough.
Heard that.
Nope, I kicked Jed out, not myself.
Wrong way.
Think, Jed?
Yep. I thought I was that handsome.
I was wondering.
I
was just asking myself. Well, on the one, it's like once again, it's just like, is this just dividing people more? Which I think is just too much of that. So I don't, just from the images alone, I was like, yep, this is going to divide people even more, and everyone's going to try to pick it apart. And then two, I was like asking myself, would Jesus advertise like that if he came now? And I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Because there seems to be a few times where he's like, yeah, if the town won't receive you, dust your sandals off and move on, sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if he would do that.
You could do a lot of good, like human good, for the price of that commercial.
Yes, right. That's the thing. It's like because Budweiser got in trouble for that too, and they're like, we're gonna donate $100,000 or something like that, and everyone's like, but you just paid $2.5 million for this commercial.
They paid $2.5 million to let everybody know that they were going to donate.
Yeah,
$100,000, right?
Yes, yeah. And especially with 35,000 people and counting dead right now in Turkey, it's like you could have definitely sent that money there, and that may have been a better use of your money.
There's a lot you could do here in the United States that would be a lot more beneficial to people.
That too.
There's a reason that the mega church in your town is always the best looking structure.
Right.
It's not taxed.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of money on themselves. You know what I mean? It's just firehouses too.
Yeah, that the more I think about it, it's like, So what is that for? Like, what was that for? Like, why did people? Because it
I want to believe this is my problem. I want to believe that somebody is just so altruistic and so like passionate about Jesus that they're like, man, we're gonna put out this message of healing. Like, especially in today's culture, I'm like, I just want to believe that some people banded together and put out a wholesome message for fucking once on the Super Bowl. And it's frustrating that I can't believe it, but I really want to. So it's annoying.
Yeah, I just tried to see like how much did it cost. Oof. How much you think that ad cost?
2.5 mil.
10 million.
Really?
25. Oh, no, okay.
20.
20. Wow. 20 million. David Green, the organization's biggest backer. Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love this.
I hate it already.
Is the owner of Hobby Lobby.
Nazi fags.
Oh, man.
They're setting up the Christian cathedral.
Patron of the Signatory. I guess that's the organization that...
Why can't we have nice things, guys? Why can't we just have one nice thing? Why can't we have one positive message that isn't like funded by evil billionaires or something?
Whoa!
Just one.
This Christian organization has spent almost $1 billion in ads, grants, and marketing schemes to promote a new version of Jesus that is pluricultural. That's the first time I've ever seen that word. Pluricultural.
So like crap,
inclusive.
So fighting racism.
Project Bluebeam. I'm loving it. I feel like this is what they need.
So dude, if this is what I'm about to say, then it is abhorrent and disgusting. If this is because the latest Pew research, like church membership is plummeting, like falling off a cliff. And so if mega pastors have banded together and are like, we have got to get membership back up from a business standpoint, and they went to their main businessman, David Green of Hobby Lobby fame, and he was like, I got you. We'll spend $1 billion in ad revenue. Because that's the whole thing. It's like, I don't think a businessman like him is going to spend ad revenue money without a return. I hope, like you said, I am completely wrong about
No,
all
I think
this.
you're dead on, dude. And it's so suspect. It's like when they did commercials for milk. It's like, yo,
right?
Who the fuck is milk? You know what I mean? Like,
said that same thing.
I said it as a child.
Do it for
who's doing this?
Right.
No,
like,
more so, like, who's
company.
not drinking milk? Who saw that billboard and was like, "Oh my god,
brilliant!"
Well, obviously, a lot.
I didn't know milk was cool.
It was probably falling off, and Big Milk was like, "We need to come together."
Big Milk.
But you don't like you said, we're gonna spend $1 billion, but it's just for milk, not for this milk company. Like that is.
You got Big Jesus Co. banding together over here.
Well, I mean, you do, because there is that like Stephen Furtick is part of it. There's the coalition of megachurch pastors, and they all set each other's salaries. So it's like 6 or 7 of the biggest megachurch.
Sounds like government.
Pastors. Exactly.
Tax exempt government. Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the libertarian me respects the hustle, guys. Keep it up, but please don't. Now, I had this pulled up with the intention of making fun of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's take on this when she said, something tells me Jesus would not spend millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads to make fascism look benign. Now, there's parts of that I've recently come to change my mind on. And the beginning of that, 20 million, holy shit, didn't even realize it was that much. I thought it was more like 2 million, which, holy shit, that's way too much. But I'm starting to agree with her on that part. But do you guys think that this Super Bowl ad is set out with the express intent of making fascism look benign? Whatever that means exactly in this context?
No. That's not what I saw.
Nope.
I saw a little. It seemed like there was equal forgive authority as it was communities come together. It was almost like back to back of like, okay, racial, and then government, racial,
Right.
and then government, racial, and then government. Like, quit these governmental
Interesting.
protests, guys. That's not so. I don't know. Maybe it's
Let's love each other, even our captors.
Maybe because it was a lot of. It seemed anti-protest, did it not?
Right. In a
How
way.
many of those images were protests?
A few.
Quite a few. Quite a
yeah.
few. And like the overarching message was, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Let's just love each other. Man, the plot thickens. We'll have to keep an eye on Big Jesus Co. As the future goes. But we do have to move on to other things. Jed, let me know whenever you need to bounce. And I want to give you time to give your plugs whenever you need to go. But you're welcome to stay as long as you want.
I think it's time for me to bid my adieu.
One more ad? One more ad?
Yep. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. Because let's go the other direction. Doritos had an ad as well, and it's not going to play because Twitter sucks, but and my computer is a mess. Right? Get out of my way. Oh, shit. Now it's... Okay, fucking A. Just get out of here, Jed. I got to find this Doritos ad. Nothing's working today.
Yeah, check me out. Church and Other Drugs is my podcast. Church & Other Drugs. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Absolutely. Well, it's a little different than I would say a little different than this, but it's also a little different than most podcasts. So it's been a while since it's been on, so give people a little bit of what you do. Yeah,
I guess lately it's just been having really difficult and good spiritual conversations around spirituality and faith and the state of things. And then I still have, I'm an addict in recovery and I'm an addictions counselor, and so I still have friends that are in recovery come on and tell their stories, and the two often intersect. I find addiction and faith and recovery have a lot of intersecting through lines, so it's been interesting to watch it grow. The newest, the newest episode we dropped, which is one of my favorite ones, we talked basically about like religious pluralism and what do I personally lose if other religions are valid, and it was with Dan Koch, if you know him. It was an extremely challenging conversation for me. But yeah, and then, the week before it was a lawyer who went through law school on cocaine and alcohol.
Nice.
And it was nice. So cool, it runs the gamut for sure.
That's awesome. Real quick before you go, are we being invaded by UFOs or no?
Oh, you want my juicy take on this?
It's your time, man.
China. This is I just came up with it. So, the government derailed and blew up the train in East Palestine, Ohio, to cover up the fact that China is biochemically attacking us right now.
Dope. I like it. I like it, man. Well, cool, man. We'll have to have you back on again soon. Thanks for being here.
All right.
Yo, man, good to talk with you. That's a great podcast.
Yeah, you too.
And appreciate you, dude.
See ya. I'll see y'all again for sure.
Cool, man. See you around. And that is getting to a couple of our other topics. But before we get into any of the aliens and the explosions and all the things that are going on, we got to take a quick moment to talk about the biggest, Chinese conspiracy psyop that there is. And that is, of course, Jack Casey.
Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic, cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's Cybersecurity Services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free.
We're back. How was your break, Dave?
Not as good as the one that lasts like 5 minutes, so I could pee.
Oh,
I didn't feel like risking it, so I'm gonna just.
At any
But it was
point,
good.
you can go. You're not under
Oh, I
any
know.
contractual obligation to sit there and piss your pants, man.
Bro, you
That's-
literally
don't
told
have
me
to do the
no
Sam
pee
Smith
breaks.
approach.
You said no pee breaks, literally.
By
From
threat,
the
yes.
beginning.
I will dock your pay if you do.
No, I'm not
ever eat
leaving.
pee
I want
break.
to hear about the penetration testing and all that stuff every time.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. You guys should check it out too at asteros.com /free. Now, we do have to talk before we do the main stuff. We have to do something here. It's called Freak of the Week.
This program was made possible by viewers like you.
Get what you deserve!
All your days are belong to us.
No one can stop us from enjoying this, so enjoy it. Stop crying.
It is the Freak of the Week segment where you guys submit the most ridiculous thing that you found this week, and we talk about it here. And Heffalumps Woozles, I believe it's at Heffalumps Woozles on Twitter. I could be wrong about that, but that's the name. Look it up. You'll find her. At Fox5Vegas.com reports, so you know it's legit, Oscar Mayer Wienermobile repaired after catalytic converter stolen in Las Vegas. So somebody in Las Vegas saw this. Saw the Wienermobile and decided to steal the catalytic converter. I'm not sure if we need any more information on that, but Dave, do you have any thoughts?
Yes, I heard that this is actually like people are stealing those because these cars are like that use those are becoming like extinct. So people want to get those, and that's a hot.
And the Wienermobile is the best place you can get one?
No, that's the point. Like you, not only were you brazen enough to go steal parts of a car, right? But you
stole wiener parts.
You went to the biggest, brightest, hugest fucking wiener you could find, and you were just like, let me just weasel around here. Like, yeah, I think that's amazing.
I mean, I'm not for like theft and all that, but
No,
you know,
of
if
course
it's a good story, then it's hard for me to knock it too hard. But the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile had to make a pit stop on Friday after thieves targeted the iconic vehicle. The catalytic converter on the 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels was stolen, according to Joseph Rodriguez with Penske Trucks. According to Rodriguez, his team at Penske helped give the vehicle a temporary repair so it could. Okay, so yeah, that's the story, but that's it. And thank you, Heffalumps Woozles, for bringing joy to everyone's day in wiener theft. Now, I'm not sure. For some reason, Twitter, every time I refresh it today, is taking me back to my profile, which is very annoying since I had things pulled up that I needed to play. So hopefully these things play. But we do have to talk about the main things in the news, and we do have a bunch of fake super chats. Thank you guys for knowing. I didn't even announce fake super chats today, and you guys are dropping them like they're hot. Dave's dog is barking, and it's been a good day. We'll get to some fake super chats here in a minute, whether they make sense or not. But if you have fake super chats, we are not allowed to take money from you because YouTube hates you, and but we will because we love you. if you put in all caps fake super chat and comment, and you have something that you really desperately want us to read at some point, please do that whenever you feel like it. But we've got, mushroom clouds over Ohio, and we've got explosions and UFOs getting shot down every single day. We can kind of just lump the rest of this into one category of what the fuck is going on is basically the article, because the government is telling us that, and Dave, you talked about a lot of these in your episode yesterday, so you probably have dug into it even more than I have, but the stuff that's going on is so outlandish that nobody cares for the most part. The world seems like if this stuff happened 10 years ago, if these news headlines of explosions in Palestine, Ohio, and UFOs getting shot down over Cumtown, Alaska, and the most ridiculous headlines we've ever seen as a human species, and we're just kind of yeah, it's Tuesday, so all right.
Right.
Dave, what are your thoughts?
It's all a psyop, bro. So I try not to get lost in the minutia of as soon as they pump out their propaganda, right? Because we just don't know. I don't know what that balloon is. I know that when the corporate press tells you about it, it's probably spin and not news.
Yeah.
Right? That's just kind of
they let a Chinese balloon that they confirmed was a Chinese balloon float all the way across the country and then shot it down once it reached its final destination. But we've got UFOs where they're not saying what these things are. They're not telling you, well, it was this or we think it was that. There's no explanation. Just a cylindrical, unidentified flying object was flying, and so we shot that down. It's
so I'm not. I know that they said that, and I know that Biden's taking. I ordered it shut down, and they got up there with an F-16, shut it down. I think I'm not convinced that it's Chinese at all. The first one was in Montana, right?
this is the balloon or the UFOs.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the balloons right now, but that's right around. That's where all the NSA bases are. Utah, Colorado. This is where the spy apparatus is located. So I don't think that they would just be caught off guard with a balloon. I just don't buy that. I think the story is that it went from China around the Arctic through Alaska through the upper part of Canada into Montana. Come on. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure, again, everything comes back to the World Economic Forum, the UN 2030 agenda, dude. We are on the same page as China, right? Whether you're Trump, who wants to be Xi Jinping, or Biden, who is owned by Xi Jinping. You know what I'm saying? The China model is the model. So I think they're separating the hemispheres. Right? It's not going to be global domination by America anymore. That's the concession. Those guys are going to run it over there. We're going to run it over here. That's why you're seeing more operations going down into South America and stuff like that.
So what are these UFOs, though?
I think that again, I don't know exactly, but I think they're probably check out JJ Boogie. He's the guitarist for Arrested Development, and he's a Meacock. He's got I saw on his Twitter page an article from 2019. It was just so you know, the NSA is using these spy balloons. They look vaguely similar to the ones that were that, and you might see a balloon up there at some point or another. So
we've got balloons, then we've got these pencil-shaped objects and just random unidentified flying objects where they're saying they're definitely not balloons and they're definitely not aliens, but we can't tell you what they are. So
cool.
I
haven't seen that picture yet.
Yeah, they're just I don't know. It's every other day there's another UFO shot down. And it's the government started talking about UFOs a couple years ago, and everybody's just kind of yeah, whatever. We're in the middle of a pandemic and shit. Who cares about UFOs? Please come take care of it. But now it's UFOs every single day, and we're just okay, now what? I don't know. For the fact that they're telling you, they really want you to know that there are UFOs. They really want you to know that something's going on, and they have no intention, or they refuse to tell you what it is or give you even a hint of what we're looking at or what is going on or what they're talking about. But it's if this is aliens, you refuse to shoot down a Chinese spy balloon, but then aliens came and you just shot it down immediately, without hesitation. You just shot it down. You didn't feel like talking? Was it a threat? I feel like if it's aliens, we have way more questions to ask than have been answered by it being aliens. But like, I don't know. Is it military tech that they're testing? That I don't know. Why would you shoot it down in that? Like, there's no real answer to all of this in my mind that I have found that fully sums up what is going on here, because it's so shady and so suspect. And then with the train explosion that is just like wreaking havoc across the eastern half of this country, as you know, a death cloud of acid rain pours through. And reporters being arrested for reporting on the explosion in Ohio. Like, this is why I'm lumping these things all into the same thing, because I can't really talk about the specifics as much as I can talk about the, hey, that makes absolutely no fucking sense, and I can't wrap my brain around it from like the devil's advocate perspective or the conspiracy theorist perspective. It's very strange, and I don't know.
So I guess one of the main differences would be like the balloon thing was like, oh, a bystander captured this with his phone. Let's report. Look what he saw, right? Whereas you're right, like in Pittsburgh or outside of Ohio, this is like they won't let people in, and that's crazy. And dude, have you seen the Netflix movie?
Probably not.
Okay.
Which
this
one?
This is fucking crazy to me. There was a movie that came out last year called White Noise that stars the guy who played the Sith on Star Wars. That is about.
Which
Are you
Sith?
ready for it, bro?
Which Sith? I gotta know who we're talking about here.
The main Sith in the shittiest of Star Wars movies.
You're gonna have to be more specific still.
Oh man, what's his name? He's actually a good actor, but those movies blew.
Are you talking about Anakin Skywalker?
No. Those movies were okay. The ones after that, J.J. Abrams made.
Oh, Adam Driver?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
That guy's in
okay.
this movie. It's a Netflix movie, and it is about the town of Palestine, Ohio, that has a chemical train wreck in it.
Come on.
Bro, give it a Google, which is also a psyop.
Give me a break. Yes.
And no, this is a fucking. You can watch. Netflix is re-pushing it because of this.
Oh, I
But
believe
again,
you. I'm just saying.
So I think it's interesting.
So on the
that
nose.
This could be like, dude, extras in this movie are now maybe like aligned with this. I don't know the whole fucking story, but I'm saying if this is like some kind of movie set or this was like some kind of drill that they had, like, you don't think that, okay, the CIA or deep state wouldn't fund an entire fucking movie to do a thing? Like, if you had to make a movie to do a thing, right?
Well, I'm all about the
movie
predictive programming and all that. So
That's exactly what it is. # predictive programming. But there's,
I mean, there
a
was
movie
like
called
a
White
what was it,
Noise.
like CSI episode or something where it's like what was like before, leading up to 9/11, like a year before, they put out a movie that was like, what if a plane hit the World Trade Center and it blew? There was like this terrorist group that did, like, it was exactly laid out the plot of 9/11 a year before.
Right.
This is not new, but wow, that's horrifying to see it in like modern perspective of like, this came out on Netflix. Like, it used to be like, oh, there was this throwaway episode of this one show somewhere that laid out this plot point. For it to be like a Netflix movie with a main movie star, Adam Driver, and so like for it to be that in your face and be that on the nose, man, that's kind of, terrifying that they're that brazen, if that is what it is.
I bet you that they could be mixing up like real, footage of what's happening maybe right now with like effects stuff that they used for this movie. Like, who knows what they're doing? But if you think that they won't destroy an entire city for 1,000 years to get people out and get industry in, I mean, that's what they did with the BP oil spill, right? I think that they want to clear that place out of all inhabitants so that they can have whatever their shithole where they can drill for oil or do whatever else they want to do. And again, this is early on, so I don't know what the fucking end game is here, but there's definitely fuckery afoot.
Yeah, to say the least. Like, it's like if you try to believe the mainstream narrative, it still doesn't make sense. Like, because they're not telling you what it is. They're not telling you what any of these things are. Just a train crashed and things blew up and now everybody's dying, or chickens are dying and stuff like that, and acid rain and whatnot. And UFOs that we can't identify. We'll get back to you on that one. Like, I don't like, even from the mainstream perspective, what would be the goal if this is like all doctored up? All like, if it is fake, hypothetical. If this is the UFOs and the train crash were entirely fake, I guess the train crash, I mean, that one can't really be fake since people are experiencing it and posting about it. But if it was
Have
staged,
they seen it though, or are we just seeing video? And you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm asking. Have we seen video of a train crash that could have been filmed like last year? Or have people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because there is a movie that was taking place in Palestine, Ohio about a chemical train crash.
Yeah, I lean more towards that there was predictive programming for a thing that they actually carried out, and that the thing that they carried out was for an actual
town,
purpose.
Even Event 201 was like, oh, this virus came out of Brazil. Like, I'm not going to say Wuhan. Right? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Again, maybe they're just getting more brazen, but that's potentially the most terrifying explanation for it. If they're just like, we'll tell you, we'll put it in an episode of SpongeBob tomorrow, then the next day we'll play it out in real time. Fuck you. We have nothing to hide because we don't care. I mean, look at the World Economic Forum. There's that clip where they're talking about a new world order, one world government, and YouTube labeled it conspiracy theory, where the one world government, the people that are pushing for that, are talking about it. So, yeah, I don't know. Something to keep an eye on if we make it that far, but I don't know. Do you believe in aliens, Dave? Do you think that there's any chance of this being an alien invasion?
Bro, I'm like as close to 100% as you can get to believing in aliens, but it's the least likely of scenarios here. I'll say that, right?
Because the government said it.
And the next likely is that it's China, or like, I mean, I would bet everything I had that it is your government that is always spied on you, that is always up to shit that they're not telling you about, because it's right here. You know what I mean? Just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I don't know. The world is potentially ending. It's got to end sometime. I mean, we can't get too greedy, but let's read some super chats. Hey guys, as the world ends, thank you for super chatting in. Thank you for hanging out with us and spending your last days here on Earth, wasting it doing this. Joey Two Gun says, I'm not reading these in advance, so hopefully you're not assholes. But fake super chat. You haven't mentioned fake super chats. Thank you, Joey Two Guns. Now I have. Hector Roos says, fake super chat. When is Dan's document? Shut up, Hector. JC says, fake super chat. At least the Super Bowl halftime show was subtle. Yeah, subtle and
Satanism
boring. Right.
Yeah.
It's the Bud Light of Satanism. Yeah. Joey Two Gun says, fake super chat. This is the episode where Dan ignores all the super chats. Little did you know that I was watching. I had better things to do. But I get
There's 2 guns for you. Pew pew.
That's right. He's wrong again. Phobes says, fake super chat. Satanists aside, would you let a car part vomit on your chest while you sang shitty music? I don't know what you mean by car part, but yes. Did you see that Lady Gaga clip, Dave, that was going around?
I did. Yes.
Is that new? Do you know? Has anybody looked into it? Because it seemed like old Lady Gaga, like maybe some shit that she did in the early days to get her kickstart.
I feel like I would have seen that at some point.
Probably. I couldn't tell if it was like new or if it was something that some conservative pundit was like, hey, check this out, because they dug it up and cancel culture shit. But yeah, the thing that offended me most about Lady Gaga being thrown up on by a woman that she clearly paid to do it, because, I mean, she's vomiting neon green puke. Like, it's not real puke.
She's a professional puker.
Right. She was paid to puke on Lady Gaga, while Lady Gaga played drums like a woman.
Yeah.
Like the drumming really was the most offensive part to me. Not even close to on beat, and she's just hitting a hi-hat cymbal. Come on, girls, get
waiting for this chick to puke on her. Oh.
That's right.
Gross.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for showmanship, but if the art takes second place to the edge, then yeah, I don't know.
She saw that Sam Smith video, bro.
She's like,
gonna get pissed on? Check
you think P
out.
is edgy? Watch this. I can play drums poorly while a chick pukes on me. Seth Sparkley says Latinx or Latinx or however is pronounced Latinx, and you must respect my pronouns. My pronouns. Latinx. I like it. Jack Casey, dare we? Jack Casey says, what about alt-right with a W? Crazy lunatics. We know, Jack. We respect your pronouns. Joey Two Gun says, this needs to be on righteous gemstones. I'm not sure what that means or what righteous gemstones are, but I'll show you some righteous gemstones. JC says, boomers were cheering because they thought the explosions were happening in the real Palestine.
You don't like that? You stop throwing rocks, you bastard.
Yeah, I did post something right after it happened that was like, when you really want to bomb Palestine, but you're really bad at geography. So, yeah, interesting. Another thing, like, towards psyopness, like, it does seem like a really odd choice of names. Like, the UFO was shot down over Cumtown, C-U-M town, literally. And then this blew up in Palestine, Ohio. It's like, I don't know. It seems like there's something there. How come every name is just it's not like, I don't know, Springfield, Alaska or something. Like it has, there's something to it. I don't know.
It's bizarre, dude.
Jack Casey also says, it's kind of the same way I pay Dan to throw up my ad all over you people. And that is good place to wrap up this episode. Thank you, Jack Casey. There were also lights seen in the sky all over the place, and some people are saying it's Starlink, some people are saying it's China balloon lasers or something, but I don't know. Lights and creepiness, and I don't know what to believe anymore, and so I mostly don't believe any of it. But creepy. I don't know. I'm at a loss. Something is afoot. Some serious fuckery is afoot, and I don't know what it is, but it's something.
If it's Chinese, they let the Chinese do it. It's probably not Chinese or aliens. If anything, I mean, again, Project Bluebeam was never one of the conspiracy theories that I thought was going to, come into fruition, and I still don't. But that is trending on Twitter. Project Bluebeam. Give that a.
What is Bluebeam again?
This is like a 20-year-old conspiracy. Dude,
I remember looking into it back in the day, and it's alien related, right?
Well, that they said that eventually they would use high-tech stuff like this, holograms and yada yada, to create the illusion that would be like an alien or like some kind of new god that would usher in the new age, and it would.
I'm not sure how I forgot about that, because that is my theory 100%, and I completely forgot what Project Bluebeam was. I'm talking, and that's why I wanted to have Jed on, because he's into like the Nephilim conspiracies and stuff like that, giants and stuff. And there is a part of me that's like, yeah, they're gonna roll out some giant creature, like humanoid, whatever, and say that it's aliens and say that we have to worship it so that we can bring peace amongst ourselves, because we're in the midst of war and we're bombing ourselves, and they're the only ones that can save us. And the more I say it out loud right now, the more it's jogging my memory of my thoughts that I had a couple years ago. And now we're living in UFO territory amongst World War III potential. So you be the judge. Just know when the giants roll out, me and Jed called it. And Jack Casey, of course. I don't want to talk about that, though. Now, we have another fake super chat from Joey Tukans, who says, Righteous Gemstones is a TV show Dan should watch, with John Goodman sitting next to him on a love seat. Oh. So,
John Goodman's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah. I feel like I've got a lot of things to watch, and we should go ahead and mention it here that we have some plans for the Downers Club. We're going to be doing, at the very least, a movie night, maybe once a month, maybe who knows, but we're pondering this because Dave realized that I haven't seen any of the movies that society deems necessary to live in this. It's something to do with the social contract or something, to where if you're born in America, you have to have seen these movies by a certain age. I have passed that certain age by a long shot, so we're going to come up with some sort of movie night hang for certain people and certain levels of the Downers Club. I'm thinking probably the $10 level and up, where we're just going to hang, watch a movie, and me and Dave will maybe pause and rant about it, and I'll make fun of it while Dave makes fun of me for not getting it, because he's old and I'm young and spry and just ill-informed.
Oh, all right. Listen, we would be, if we were brothers, we'd be pretty fucking close, okay? There's a little bit of a gap there, but you still should have seen fucking, Ferris Bueller's Day Off by the time you're 35 years old, bro. There's really no.
You would think so. You would think so.
So I think that other people that are in and around our collective age group that we're the same in, we'll probably get enjoyment out of that too.
Yeah,
and
everybody said, I'm not knocking Dave, obviously. Like, these are movies that legitimately everybody has seen, and long before Dave was here, it's been an ongoing thing that if somebody brings up a movie, I'm just like, yes, I'm sure whatever you're about to talk about, I've not seen it. So it's time. And if we can make some entertainment value out of it, then I'll be much more inclined to spend 2 hours sitting down. It's easier to sit down and waste time watching a movie if I'm not wasting time because I'm hanging out with my fam and Dave.
Right, and I think
not fam.
that, well, close enough, bro. But I think it would be cool to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be. It could just be like a private party. You don't have to have a recorded session of this. It could just be like a hang session, and we can have some drinks and smoke on some Chiba and just chill with some good peeps.
Agreed. What do you guys think?
Watch some essential culture.
What do you guys think? Sound off in the chats or wherever. Maybe drop movie ideas in the chats, or better yet, drop them in the Downers Club Facebook group. Let me know what movies you think that I need to watch. And if you're not in the Downers Club Facebook group, that's on you. Go change that today, because we're going to keep the party going with the party, the after party. Dave, where can people find you? Thank you for being here. And what's going on?
Yeah, you can find me in the chats right now. I just said, yo, go follow me on YouTube, because I got to get my numbers up there. That would mean a lot. And at Goliath Will Fall, until Elon gives me back my original Twitter, that's going to be it for me. And Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, I'm on all those things.
Nice. CD said Men in Black. That's actually one that I've seen. It's a favorite of mine. CD, you found the one movie, the first movie you recommended I have actually seen, and it's also one of the only movies I've ever seen, it would seem. But yeah, awesome. Dave, thanks for being here, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy.
And yeah, in the after party, we're going to be talking about, just a bunch of, like, I don't know, mental illness Olympics. Like, it's just a race to the bottom always. We're going to be talking about vegans trying to stop a truck, and we're going to be talking about Disney trying to convince your children that they should be, I don't know, maybe just a little bit more racist, because of course they are. That and much more. The party gets spicier, the party gets more lax, the party gets drunker over in the after party. Patreon.com/The System Is Down. Support the show, help what we're doing here, and if you have fun, if you like it, it's just call it a tip. Call it your one super chat a month that gets you a whole bunch of extra content. But we'll see you guys on the other side. Until then, and until next time, question everything, stay uncomfortable, and we'll talk to you then. Peace out.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.